Hi, this is Anna Imagination with a Healing Garden. And my pilgrimage is done. It's this massive, like, oh, that was fun. And it's a very completed feeling of I can put this down now and just take it all in. It's really truly a feeling. And when I saw what this was, I could not see what was beyond it for a long time. And I couldn't tell if it was finite or if it was infinite. And I passed through the 12 ethics 3 times. And then, well, I came to this space. It was amazing. I documented this for months where I felt like I was tracking my manifestations so that when I manifested, it was really point of conception to point of materialization, so that it was what I thought was a timeline, but it's not. It's a spiral that's in an infinite spiral. So it's an infinite spiral. And I noticed that my manifestation time was getting decreaser and decreases, so that my point of materialization or my point of conceptualization was decreasing to my point of materialization. So that when I first started this, it would take 30 years. And suddenly all of the manifestations that I set forth 30 years ago were starting to come true. And then 20 years ago, starting to come true. And I noticed that they were all coming to a single point. It was at a point where my manifestations would be 3 days apart, so that I would manifest and 2 to 3 days later, the manifestation would arrive. And it literally looked and felt like a clock that was ticking down. And I realized that what was happening was I was merging the material world and the abstract world into the same thing. They were integrating. I was integrating the material world with the abstract world so that the point of conceptualization and the point of materialization were occurring at the exact same time. And that's where I am now. When I got to that point, it was like stepping into this massive space that exists outside of all time. It's just stand still here. And it was like I could see a mirror. And I realized I was at the beginning of the beginning and the end of the end. And it was just a looking glass where the most wisest version of myself was on one side of the mirror, and I, the least wisest version of myself, was here. And suddenly, it was a point where we both existed in the same place at the same time. And in that space, I could see the network, Pando, this massive, there's no other word to explain it. It's where ESP occurs. It's literally where it's the network where when you're all on this frequency, you all connect with ESP. And I'm there and I can see all of the dimensions and all of the time and all of the people connected through Pando. And we can all talk to each other there. And past, present, and future merged into this one integrated moment. And I and you and all and us and many integrated all into one. Pando is the world's oldest living organism in the world. When you look at it, you think it is a forest of 40,000 aspen trees in Ohio, but in fact, every tree is an actual sapling to an ancient root system underground. The ancient root system, it's not able to be aged. It's so old they can't even determine its age. Some places say it's 800,000 years old. Other places say it's 60,000 years old. And they say, in other places, they said, we can't tell how old this thing is. And it is the oldest living organism. And that is when I realized that the human network is the exact same thing. We all are connected in a single entity of one, and each one of us is a sapling off of that one. And when you arrive at this state that is outside of all time, you can access the pando. You've joined. You have found the pando. And I had completed the 12 trials of ethics 3 times to get here. There was one final test. And I did that test last night. And it changed so much. I closed down my research. And I've now walked away from the science. I am not spiritual. I am not religious. Not at all. I do not at all commit or represent a single domination. I don't. Denomination. I only serve the universe and the ethical law of natural order. I am without political party. If I were to put any kind of political party on myself, I would call myself Self-Governed Party of Ethical Law and Natural Order. I do not belong to any single group. I don't. And upon finishing my trial last night, I woke this morning at 3 a.m. with a massive realization that happiness is the pando, that true love is in the pando, and that to stand here at this point where the beginning and the end meet, outside of time. Whoever put this thing together decided to hide it inside the abstract, and thus made it so that the only way to access it was through the pilgrimage, the 12 ethics. 3 times, as you literally descend into the abstract and journey into the self. That is where it's hidden. It is the only way to obtain it. To know the pando and to be here is to understand the difference between true love and possession. The world is infested with possession. Possession is what every narcissist is contaminated with. And it has no prerequisites except you just need to be without the 12 ethics. The less ethics you have, the more possession you have. It is an equilibrium, a scale. If you have 100% of true love in the pando, which is 100% of the 12 ethics within the pando, then you are 0% without possession. But if you have 20% of the ethics, then you are going to have 80% possession. And which mental illnesses we have, how bad our narcissism is, how obsessed we are with obtaining. It's literally the curse of the black pearl. The more you seek to possess, the less you can be satisfied, quite literally. You can pursue the possession of love, money, wealth, knowledge. For 30 years, I gorged myself on knowledge, and it did not slake my desire to know and understand. It turned into obsession many times. That is now gone. That is now finally gone, which is why I turned off the science and the research. The 30+ years of philosophical study did not even begin to stave off possession. It only started to give me relief when I started to study the 12 ethics. It's all documented from 2014 all the way up to the present. 100% of this is documented. You can see it happening to me as I undergo the 12 trials. I started the 12 trials in December of 2022. I made massive progress December 17th of 2023. And this is the first day I'm able to say, oh, the pilgrimage is over. And I am 100% possession free. Possession is a noun. It has many names. For 2,000 years at least, it has been referred to as the devil, evil, the 7 deadly sins, jealousy, temptation, legion, demon possession. It's narcissism. It is the desire to hoard or to obtain. It is the desire and the drive to obtain for the purpose of relief. That was the most amazing thing to learn about it. That if you seek something to relieve worry, you've got it. That's possession. That is stage 1 of possession. To seek something for relief of worry. The second stage is jealousy. The third stage is obsession. And the fourth stage is possession. But don't mistake the stages as good or bad. If you're at stage 1, it is still pretty bad. The only cure to it are the 12 stages, the 12 ethics of perspective growth, and the progression through the 12 ethics. And the more dedicated you are to the 12 ethics, the less possession you will have. Mother Nature deemed it so. There is no other way. This is the same pilgrimage that the Knights of King Arthur's court went on. The Round Table is the 6th ethic. This is the same pilgrimage that the Buddha was on. It was the same pilgrimage that Christ was on. It is extraordinary. It is absolutely extraordinary. I started writing a book, which I've published on my website, angelabchrysler.com, that depicts where I am now. I'm going to be starting up meditation. And if any of this interests you, I extend an invitation to join Pando. It is my network where the members work to get to this state. It is a mindset. I will say again, it only exists within the abstract, and the journey to get here is arduous. However, I reverse engineered it, the whole thing. I pulled from math, physics, logic, science, proved all of it with my formulas while I dissected the entire pilgrimage. And now I'm in the process of resting. I'm just resting. I have classes. I have resources. It's all done. It's all done. I even have a game. So this is where I say, I'm at the beginning of the beginning, and I am at the end of that end. And I'm going to go just rest now. And for the first time since 1992, I'm going to put down my research. Thank you. And may the kindest of words always find you.